Day 28 in the Big Brother UK house, and Big Brother announces that there's going to be a dance challenge, and Olivia is squealing again.
Dance challenge.
I think the next time the housemates break the rules, they should play a compilation of Olivia squealing over and over and over all day for 48 hours. That would teach them. They were given dance outfits, and every time Big Brother played music, names came up on the screen and those people had to run to the dance floor. And I was loving Jordan's trousers, right? I actually loved his jacket and his trousers. I probably wouldn't wear them together, but they were blowing my mind. And I loved the fact that he had a hat on that said smile.
Revealing around the crotch area. Yes, you can see a lot with Henry's trousers. Not like I looked. Well, I did look just to verify that you could see a lot, and you definitely can see a lot. I won't be looking again.
Big Brother called the housemates to the couch and told them about the rule break between Chanel and Olivia. And Chanel was like, oh, I don't see the problem. I don't see how it's a big deal. And I thought, aye, Chanel, that's because you're thick as fuck. You think there's two moons and you don't know who Cleopatra is. My 10-year-old niece knows more than that. Trish was upset about the conversation, and Chanel was trying to make out as if Trish was in the wrong. Meanwhile, you say boo to Chanel and she absolutely shits her pants and walks out the house. Chanel was trying to justify it by saying that she wasn't a snake because she was sticking up for a friend. And I thought, if you can be friends with Paul and genuinely not see any problems with him, because he was a complete cuntbag, right? But if you can't see any problems whatsoever, then there clearly is a problem. As a punishment, Chanel lost her immunity, and Olivia had to write 600 lines and attach pads to her that gave her shocks. Now, I must admit, I don't agree with shocking people. I don't agree with shocking people at all. I know that it's not going to hurt you, right? But there's just something about shocking people that I find unacceptable. Trish was upset about the conversation and she left the room, and she was saying that she doesn't want to say anything because she's going to be labelled as angry again. And that is totally right. Anytime she says anything, people say that she's aggressive and angry, and that's not the case. She literally just stands up for herself. And on Facebook, there's so many people that say Trish is aggressive, she's angry, like she can't hold her temper, she's a bitch. And I'm like, what are you seeing that I'm not seeing? I just see somebody who stands up for herself. And interestingly enough, I left a comment to somebody saying, on YouTube and TikTok, when I make these videos or people message me, and people say the same thing about Chanel and Paul, and they agree with my opinions usually. And I'm starting to think it's got something to do with the age of the people that use Facebook, because you never really get younger people on Facebook anymore. I'm 40, so you're talking people that are 40 plus that go on Facebook regularly, and I think a lot of them have still got the mindset of women can't be strong, women can't stand up for themselves, and they can't speak out for themselves. Do you know what I mean? There's going to be men on there that think that women should still stay in the kitchen and keep their mouth shut. There was a lot of people on there this morning saying that they really like Chanel and that they would like her to win. And I'm like, okay, so you like your women to be meek, weak and a snaky bitch? Got it. Then it was time for nominations, and Trish nominated Chanel and Tom. She could easily have used that as an excuse to nominate Olivia, but she didn't, because she says, I don't think it was her fault. I think it was Chanel like trying to plant seeds in people's heads. That wasn't her exact words, but she could have used it as an excuse. But then later, when Trish found out that she was nominated, and she stood up and she walked away in a huff, and she was talking about people in the house targeting her or nominating her or whatever, and then Olivia was in a huff about it, and she's like, oh, she's targeting me because she's blaming me for something and I didn't even nominate. And it's like, calm down, hen, she wasn't talking about you. When Olivia was going off her head about Trish being upset, she said, I'm not going to walk out here to the same reception as Paul did. And I thought,
Jesus Christ, on the motorbike, the Delulu is very strong in this one.
For some reason, they still think that Paul got booed because Trish called him a bully once. No, they were booing him because he's a fucking dickbag. Olivia was crying and says that she didn't want to be made out to be a bitch. And I was thinking, do you know what? Even I don't think she's a bitch. She's just a fanny. Matty nominated Jordan, and I was quite surprised. But it has been annoying him, and he's not been treating him very fairly. Like, he's been ruining his experience in the house because he's got some sort of feelings for him, and he's been making things awkward for him for the past couple of days. So at this point, he's probably just like, I just want to have my experience without you rating it. Chanel, Trish, Noki, Jenkin and Olivia are all up for eviction, and I put my 5 votes on Chanel. Originally, I was going to split it between Chanel and Olivia, but I think that Olivia is just annoying sometimes. I think that deep down she's a really nice person, but I think that Chanel is just a complete fucking bitch. Chanel was crying in the garden, and I didn't feel one bit sorry for her, because it's as if her true personality's been coming out over the past couple of days, especially since she thought she was immune from the vote. And honestly, I just think she's a sly bitch. Like, if I was in the house with her and she said anything cheeky to me at all, I'd be like, do you know what? You are thick as fuck. You can't hold a conversation. You don't know anything that's happening. You can't even deal with the slightest bit of conflict. Take yourself away from me. I'm not shy about telling people how I feel about them, and I'm happy to say to people, look, just don't come near me. And I think that Trish is a bit like that as well, but obviously she doesn't want to do that in the house because people will think it'll make her look bad, whereas I'd be like that, see if I look bad, I don't care, get that fucking idiot away from me. In the end they passed the challenge, which they did deserve because even Jordan got up and danced, and he hates dancing. I genuinely thought he was going to run to the dance floor and just stand still or like move his head or something. Who do you think is going to go this week? I think it's going to be Chanel and Olivia or Chanel and Jenkin. And I must say, when his mum came in the house and she says, oh, I've not seen your true, like, bubbly, funny personality. But then I noticed that, see on the screen, when it comes up who's up for nomination and it shows you their faces and Olivia's like, and doing all that, right? Jenkin's standing there, like doing this mad, sad, huffy face. And I don't know if Big Brother's just says, oh, do a happy face, do a sad face or whatever. But everybody else is smiling and he's standing there looking miserable. And I'm thinking, maybe he really is just a miserable person all the time. But anyway, Big Brother Australia's back on and I watched the first episode last night. Let me know if you think I should cover it on TikTok. But if you would like to talk more about Big Brother UK, give me a follow.